Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. I'm here with Jordan and Jeremy, and we're here to talk about whether Joe Flacco should be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. What do you got, Jordan?
Well, obviously he shouldn't be. I mean, he's had one good season, or one great season, and other mediocre seasons. You can't base someone's contract off of one good season. I mean, look what Tom Brady, Big Ben, and Eli, Peyton, look what they've done. They've earned their contracts that they've gotten. You don't get a big contract after one good season.
True enough, I do kind of agree with the body of work, but in with this season and over Joe Flacco's career, Joe Flacco has accumulated now more playoff wins than the great Peyton Manning. Okay? And the numbers in Joe Flacco's playoff run this season was rival to the great Joe Montana, which these numbers have not been seen in over 23 years. I mean, you are talking about Joe Flacco he threw for 11 touchdowns, 1,140 yards with 0 interceptions during the playoffs. Okay? And truthfully, these numbers have not been seen since Joe Montana, okay? And for this season he got a measly 4.61 million for this season. You are talking about a Super Bowl MVP caliber quarterback, okay? So I truly do believe that he should be the highest paid QB coming up for the 2013-2014 season, okay? I mean, just it's I mean I mean he truly put off something miraculous this season. I mean, if you saw the Denver game, I mean, the 70-yard completion with 30 seconds left to go in the game was just beyond me.
There's a little bit of blown coverage. You gotta hand it to the blown coverage there.
Well,
I mean, true enough, but to still have the arm power to get the ball down that far of the field was great to see.
You're saying that how he has more playoff wins than Peyton. Look who else he's got on his team. Look at that great defense that they've got up there in Baltimore. He's got Ray Rice, one of the top halfbacks in the league. So they've got more dimensions than Peyton had when he was in Indianapolis.
Well, let's talk about Peyton Manning for a little bit. In with the years with the Colts, he probably had one of the most dominating offenses in the league. In with the days when they had Edgerrin James, Marvin Harrison, Dallas Clark, Reggie Wayne. I mean, the list goes on and on of just the great offenses that they had. And each year, he's just always come up short. Peyton Manning seems to always make that signature bad throw in the Super Bowl against the Saints. The interception that he threw to Tracy Porter, I mean, that was probably – and the route that they ran, the Indy curl, just a little 5-yard end that Reggie Wayne ran, that was probably the most predictive route that they could have ran. I mean, it was just crazy. And even this past season when he threw the interception against the Ravens to end the game in overtime, I mean, across the body, across the field throw, I mean, that just ain't Peyton. I mean, and that's not what you come to expect from a future Hall of Fame quarterback. Okay, somebody who has come up short in so many clutch moments that would have defined him beyond. I mean, he would probably been seen as a lowercase g god of football, but he's just come up short in so many occasions, and which is why Flacco should probably be considered.
So do you think that Flacco is a future Hall of Famer at this point in his career?
At this point in his career, I don't think so.
So you think he should be making the money that future Hall of Famers are making? Look at the contract that Tom Brady just redid.
I mean, yeah, because he's taking less money, but he's also trying to put himself in a position.
So why not help out your team a little bit? Look at all those players that the Ravens are going to be re-signing.
Okay, but clearly Joe Flacco has asserted himself to their level somewhat, and which is why he should at least probably not be making the same amount, but at least be in the ballpark of those guys. I mean, come on now. You have him making less money than Matthew Stafford of the Detroit Lions.
I'm not saying that he shouldn't be making more than Matthew Stafford, but we're not comparing him to like the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. I don't think he should be up there.
I mean, true enough. I mean, but his numbers have still just rivaled. I mean, Jesus Christ. Joe Flacco is just he will. I think with this upcoming contract that he will. I think he will continue to progress as a elite quarterback in this league.
I mean, I think he will too. He's young, so he's got time on his side. But 1 year doesn't earn you a huge contract. That's just my opinion.
Well, I understand what both of you guys are saying. The NFL is definitely a what have you done for me lately league. And we don't hate Peyton Manning here, guys, at NSEN. But I understand what you were saying. But all of that money that he got from Denver, because I think right now he's the highest paid in the league, was because of his resume. And the thing that the two have in common is they are both Super Bowl champions, one ring. So we'll definitely see how that goes. And great job, guys. We'll have more for you guys here. Another hot heaping helping of NSEN right after this.
Good evening. I'm Kaya Cremona, and I'm here to open up the debate with CJ and Chris. So, guys, with the NFL Scouting Combine ending last week, who would be your winners and your losers? We'll start with you, Chris.
Well, definitely the kid from UAPB, first of all, comes right off the bat. Forget his name, but he's a 6'5", 305-pound offensive lineman who ran a sub 4.7. That's just unheard of. And coming from an HBCU, Arkansas Pine Bluff, I think he definitely skyrocketed his draft stock. Basically, what analysts are saying now is that he went from like a late 5th round pick, catapulting himself all the way up to the mid-2nd round, which could be a $4 million difference for him. So he's definitely my winner.
All right. And what about you, CJ?
My winner, I'm going to have to go to the state school in Arkansas, running back Nile Davis, who blistered the combine with his 4.37 in the 40. At 225 pounds, he looked like the Nile Davis of 2010 who led the SEC in rushing. I believe he helped himself a lot with that combine performance.
Most definitely. As far as losers, of course, it pains me to say this because he wears my favorite number as a jersey number. But Mr. Catfish himself, Manti Te'o, was definitely a draft loser. He ran a 4.8. He showed up to the combine short, which is something you never want to do. And he looked like he hadn't been on a football field in a while. And he went from possibly a top 5 pick to now at the earliest late 1st round, early 2nd round. And now, it's going to cost him some money. Unfortunately, not drafting him right now is an offense punishable with fines or even jail time because of discrimination. But I feel like, Teo spent too much time doing media and not enough time getting ready. His broad jump was average. His vertical leap was average, and he was a little heavy. And he knew coming into the combine that after the performance against a pro-style power offense like Alabama, that he was going to have to show these scouts, that he could play with the big boys. And if you could see John Harbaugh's expression when he was running this 40, it was hilarious. So he's definitely my combine loser.
You're a little quiet over here, CJ. You got something to say?
Yeah, I do have something to say. I do have a loser. I mean, I would go with Manti Te'o, but from my perspective, I saw a guy who could fill a lot of needs for a lot of teams at safety from Texas by the name of Kenny Vaccaro, who there were reports saying that he had either pulled a hamstring, but running a plus 4.6 at the combine at free safety, that really hurt him in terms of financial compensation and everything. And so I believe it hurt him to an extent. Kenny Vaccaro has got to step his game up. An honorable mention for me would be Tyrann Mathieu only having 4 reps on bench at the combine. That's unacceptable in a league where you're going to have to jam with receivers at the line of scrimmage. So, I mean, that's a problem.
I'm glad you actually mentioned Mathieu because there were a lot of question marks, coming into the combine. I think he had a good workout for someone who didn't have, a DB coach there with him and didn't have a strength and conditioning coach. While his 4 reps were, overshadowed by the average safety at the combine who does 10 reps, I feel like he had about as good as workout as you could hope for after a year without weed and working out with your team. So Mathieu is going to be kind of interesting come April Will teams want to take the character risk? Are they worried about him coming in small? Because I'm 5'7", and I've stood next to the guy, and, you know, in platform shoes, he may be 5'9". So he's a smaller guy, and jamming receivers at the line. He says that he can hold Megatron to 5 catches in a game, but will he be able to jam them?
No. And to be fair, Richard Sherman, who's I would say about 6'3", 205, would not be able to jam Megatron. No, that's not going to happen. But the thing with Tyrann Mathieu is there are obvious red flags in terms of his character. Is he truly clean is the question that a lot of GMs and scouts have to ask themselves. If he is, you're taking it. I mean, he's a special talent. Now, he might not wow you in terms of his strength and overall athleticism, but what he has is different than any other cornerback in this class or in any class in the last decade. The ability to go get the football, especially on defense. You have to be able to. He has a nose for the football, and according to my brother, who's actually he played football, he understands. He said he's one of the best tacklers that he's seen play his position. And honestly, I don't believe that he has a true position. What I believe, he's more of a freelance type secondary player. He roams. All he does is find the football. So the GM's going to take advantage of that. They're going to do their research, and all it takes is one team. So.
Well, all right, you guys made some solid points tonight. That's going to be all for us tonight on NSEN. We'll be right back after this break.
Well, friends, that's all we have for you guys today. Now, remember, the show might come to an end, but sports never do. I'm Chris Townsend.
And I'm Kyra Carmona. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on National Sports Entertainment News.